What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here. Welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode. This is the penultimate race of the career. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you're new to my channel, do remember to hit that subscribe button. Unfortunately, F1 2017 still hasn't arrived. It is Wednesday night now. The finale, Abu Dhabi, will be released tomorrow, the Thursday, and hopefully F1 2017 arrives then. That's what I'm hoping for, so that's something to look forward to. In terms of this career, we're making the final upgrade just for the final race in Abu Dhabi. In terms of the championship, it's not looking good for us winning the title. It looks like it's probably going to be between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, but who knows? Ricciardo and Hülkenberg can get involved in it, and me and Vettel outside shot. You can see we've had a pretty decent season, just not consistent enough to be challenging for the title. 6 podiums so far with 3 victories, so overall I'm pretty happy with that. So into qualifying we go. It was raining and it was supposed to dry out by the end of the session, so the forecast said. So I went out at the end. I actually put on the wrong tyres, and probably a good job because dry tyres would not have worked here. Palmer, being an absolute idiot, will not get out of my way, and he's really held me up there, so I really wasn't confident about getting through to Q2 here. This wasn't a great lap. It did still feel like intermediate conditions, so I did incorrectly make the correct decision to go onto these tyres, but still it didn't work out. It was a bad lap, and you'll be very surprised to know I got knocked out, and I actually qualified P22 behind Marcus Ericsson. So Ericsson has out-qualified me in the past 2 qualifying sessions, so he's having a decent end to the season. But yeah, it can only get better from here, guys, and hopefully it's a dry race. That's what I was hoping for, and that's exactly what we're going to get here at the Carlos Pache circuit, I think it's called, but it's usually the scene of exciting Grand Prix. So I'm excited for this one. Strategy will definitely come into it, and hopefully we can not finish last. I'm usually pretty good around here, especially in Korea, so hoping to maybe sneak into the points, but that qualifying session has pretty much ruled us out of winning the title. I'd kind of accepted it anyway. So Sergio Perez is actually on pole position. He did win last time out at his home Grand Prix in Mexico, so he's putting himself in the window to have a great finish to the season, and hopefully for himself take his first title. So he's the great.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, and Hamilton, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Alonso, and Felipe Massa, Rosberg, Button, Carlos Sainz, and Grosjean, Bottas, Haryanto, Kevin Magnussen, and Pascal Wehrlein, Gutierrez, and Palmer, Marcus Ericsson, and a Sauber rounds off the grid.
So that's the grid, looking good for Perez. In terms of strategy for ourselves, we're going to start on the hard compound and then switch over to the mediums for 2 stints at the end of the race. So let's see how we do early on in with these tyres and 5 lights, and away we go. Ericsson always gets a bad start, so we blast past him at the start. We're just trying to keep it clean. There's not really anywhere to go here. We try and brake as late as possible, go up the inside of a few cars, make a bit of contact there with Grosjean. Lucky not to sustain any damage. Up the inside of Gutierrez there, and I think there's a bit of contact back there, which is pretty impressive considering there's only about 2 cars behind me. But still, we carry on, marching on, and up the inside of Wehrlein. Oh, the AI going very slow ahead of me. I'm concerned with Wehrlein to the outside, but how slow the AI going ahead. They'll probably brake check me or something. Wehrlein, please stop squeezing me. Oh, the AI really do scare me at times. We go around the outside, which is so difficult at this corner. We make contact tyre to tyre late. Well, not really that late on the brakes. We're locking up though, trying to avoid contact. Ericsson's fighting back once again. This hasn't been a great start. Not the usual dive up the inside, make up 8 positions or something. But we're just looking to keep it clean and make our way through the field. But the AI are making it very tricky on this first lap, and it's a very narrow track as well, so it's difficult to make up positions early. And Wehrlein's very slow there, being slowed up by Grosjean. We're late on the brakes this time, and we get up to P18. So we made up 4 positions. That it really was an eventful start, just trying to avoid all the other drivers. But a big train is forming here, and yeah, I'm going to take advantage and go to go up the inside of Grosjean, and a very unexpected position taken over Palmer. Can we go for Haryanto as well? This is I'd say one of our main opportunities to overtake the AI. They're not the greatest here, and we seem to get great traction from that corner. Are we going to go for it up the inside of Haryanto? Yes, we do. And that's a very nice move indeed. Up to P15, onto the back of Rosberg, who seriously seems to be getting held up by Bottas. But we know by now the Mercedes actually doesn't have great straight line speed, and we just easily get past there. No DRS either, because DRS has just been enabled, so with a bit of DRS it'll be even easier. So let's see if Rosberg can close in on the back of us. He does on the next lap. It's not him actually. He's been overtaken by Rio Haryanto, who is yet to score a point this season, so he is not having a great time of it. He does go up the inside here. I brake slightly early. I see he's on the medium, so in the early stages I'm not going to fight it too much. He would be all over me for most laps in these early stages anyway, so there's no point fighting it. Try and stick with him, and yeah, using DRS we're actually going to re-overtake him. This wasn't part of the plan, but it was very simple to do. So back up to P14, trying to keep tabs of Bottas ahead of us, just trying to make sure we don't lose track of the main pack ahead of us. We want to be aiming for P10. I think that would be a solid result in this race, considering we start at P22. Haryanto's actually coming back, and this battling with Haryanto, it's not really wheel-to-wheel intense battling. It's kind of me just letting him pass and then me re-overtaking him easily. It's not helping us, because Palmer, right behind us, is putting us under some serious pressure now. And Carlos Sainz ahead of Haryanto has some car issues, so I knew Haryanto's going to get held up. Need to easily get past him, and just need to get Sainz out the way as quick as possible. We nearly ran straight back into the back of him, locking up there. And yeah, not the cleanest of moves there. A bit of a barge. I didn't turn in early enough, but that's going to help us. That's actually worked out very well. That's the overtake's been completed in the perfect opportunity, because now Sainz is going to hold up Palmer, and that worked out very well indeed. So the soft compound runners have pit, and Perez is a full pit stop ahead of us, which shows how great his first stint was. And to be fair, he was actually miles ahead of P2, which was Verstappen. So it's good to see the two the two main contenders are fighting 1-2, which is yeah, it should make things very interesting. Hopefully in Abu Dhabi that would be something to track in the final race of the season. So we skip to lap 16 here. That stint actually went very well, and we could have taken these tyres a little bit longer, so I don't know if we could have made the one-stop work. Probably a bit of a stretch, but we're coming in finally, putting on the mediums, and where we can end up, it's a very long pit exit. Very tricky and very easy to put the car in the barrier. I've done that a few times over the past few years since it's been updated. And yeah, P14. So it's kind of where I probably would have expected. And we can see on the minimap we're not that far away from points, so if we can make these two stints on the mediums work, we should be in a decent position, I've got to say, because we don't have to go on the hards again, and we're on the back of Felipe Massa, who seems to be struggling on them tyres. So I'll try to get past him as quick as possible. Bit of a late lunge there, but all under control. Up to P12. Lewis Hamilton could be my next victim. He's not really having a great race, is he? And in truth, he looked very slow, I've got to say, so I wanted to take advantage, chuck it up the inside. No, he cuts me off there, and I probably would have been better off just waiting for this opportunity. We get better traction. I don't know if the AI take that corner in gear 2 or something, but we get much better traction than them. This time it's later, had to be. Hamilton made it a little bit more difficult than Massa, so we're now up to P5 with the AI pitting. There's a few drivers going for a 3-stop, but I think most are going for the 2-stop round here. It's a sensible strategy to go for. Hamilton's actually fighting back. We've got DRS, but Hamilton up the inside, and considering he's on them hards, that was a bit of a surprise. And now I'm sandwiched by two Mercedes, and yeah, that's always a good thing, isn't it? Hamilton ahead, Rosberg behind. Let's see if we can fight back against Hamilton here. No, we can't. But he gets held up by Haryanto, so there's a lot of drivers on different strategies. I say it quite a lot. It's one of them situations where I had no idea where anyone was and who I was fighting. I was fighting Bottas earlier on. I have no idea where he's gone now. Up the inside of Hamilton once again. We overtake him for the second time. Haryanto doesn't seem to be that quick. He isn't really that quick, is he, in this career mode either? But we don't seem to get great acceleration from this center S, so Hamilton here keeps fighting back, and I get very concerned into this corner, and because of things like that. Hamilton kind of barges us out the way. We try and squeeze him out. We try and make it as difficult as possible here, trying to squeeze him onto the curb, banging front tyres. Who's going to get the better here, me or Hamilton? We're trying to hang around the outside. That's not going to work, so we try and go for a switchback, and we've had contact with Nico Rosberg. Oh man, that's so frustrating. I felt like I was going to get Hamilton back there, and his teammate, the number 2 driver, takes me out. I don't know why I said that, Team Rosberg, but this isn't a great replay, is it? But from that replay, it looks like Rosberg takes me out, but I think I probably do turn in here. I didn't expect Rosberg to be that close. Yeah, I don't know, maybe a racing incident. We just completely cut the corner. What's wrong? Oh my god, how close was that with the McLaren here? Just speed past. Oh wow, the speed there, that's absolutely incredible. How there wasn't a pile-up, I don't know, but in inches between him and Rosberg. I wish he put a few inches between me and himself, because is there any need in that? And damage model, by the way. How we got no damage there? We could have been out the race. Thank you, Jensen. Thank you so much. But we're trying to regain our composure here. We had grass on our tyres, so we're incredibly slow. And that's going to hurt our quest for points now. Verstappen's put me under pressure. Rosberg's there as well. It looks like we're going to be going 3 wide now. I was thinking, screw that. I'm not being part of this. I don't want another bit of contact. And Verstappen, the championship leader, trying his best to catch up to Sergio Perez. Looks like he's going to be losing points to the Force Injury driver at this rate. At this point, I was thinking, I'm going to go for the undercut. I'm sick of Rosberg. I'm just done with his attitude. So I'm coming into the pits a lap earlier than I was planning to. Just trying to jump Rosberg in this final stint and try and nab a point or two. I'm not sure I am in the genuine order, I've got to admit. So we're coming out, it looks like a negative position really, down in P15 at the moment. But I think I need to negotiate the pit exit first, and we clipped the inner barrier. Nearly clipped the outer barrier as well, but we've come out in P16 behind Palmer, who I think has jumped us. He might be going to the end as well. Genuinely not sure, but yeah, we're about to dispatch a Palmer. And how far back are we? I don't think he has a problem either, but we're so far back. We dive it up the inside into turn 1. There was a yellow flag, so I was a little bit concerned there, but it's actually just ahead of us, and it's actually Rio Haryanto who has a puncture, and that's actually going to bring out the virtual safety car. So it doesn't really affect things. There's no one near the pits, so it doesn't really help anyone. But this was weird. Virtual safety car ending. Haryanto still has the puncture. What do I do here? Do I go for the overtake? I went for it anyway. I thought, screw it. But the VSC ends, yet the car causing the issue is still on the track with a puncture. Logic? No. Codemasters know nothing about logic. But Rosberg did actually stay ahead of us. He set the fastest lap of the race, so the undercut didn't work. Rosberg's actually quite far ahead of us. Well, he was, until he got involved in a bit of contact, and there is Rosberg. Yes, we're up to P10, and that means we have a shot at defending our single point. Rosberg gets a bit unlucky there. Toro Rosso of Kvyat, the torpedo himself, battling his former car. I think that's, I don't know, that's probably Max Verstappen actually. I think he's actually quite far down the order. So Rosberg loses out. We jump up to P10 and we keep Hulkenberg behind us. We've beaten him and Ricciardo. So I think the 3-stop, that hasn't worked. We've come home, started P22 and finished with a solitary point. So overall it's not too bad. It was a bit of a scrappy race really. That contact with Rosberg didn't help us at all. Without that contact we probably could have finished P8. So yeah, it's a shame, but we had fun overall. So, in terms of the driver's standings, Perez chucked the race away by making a 3rd pit stop. If he 2-stopped, he would have won that race. Verstappen made a 3rd pit stop as well, only ended up in P7, so Perez is in the driving seat. So, he could be winning his first world title in Abu Dhabi. I'm really looking forward to that, I've got to say. In terms of our battle, it's probably with Sebastian Vettel. We'll have to have a look at the standings here. So, Perez has a 10-point lead over Verstappen. We've lost out. No, we haven't. We're still in the same position, but it's very close. So, where can we can finish P3. It's unlikely, but we're aiming for P3. But anywhere in the top 5 would be absolutely awesome. So, aiming to beat Hulkenberg, Vettel, or Ricciardo. Yeah, it really has been a long career mode, long season. But I'm excited it's coming to an end. But it's a shame. It's a little bit emotional as well. It's been so much fun. We'll have a look at the constructors now. I'd imagine Force India have jumped ahead of Red Bull. or still are ahead of Red Bull, so that battle still goes on. So if you haven't enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the finale, Abu Dhabi. Let's go.